is going to be a special recap because we are going to recap my whole tournament in Mallorca. I played in Mallorca on October 25th till 26th. 27th, sorry. It was a 5 rounds tournament, Swiss system, and it was only female. There were many famous streamers and very strong players, and well, me. So let's start. This first game is against a very, very good chess player. She's from Ibiza, and she started playing chess only a few years ago, I think 2, 3 years. So I would say she's really talented. She's an amazing person, and let's see this game. I'm with the black pieces, and I played my Philidor defense. You all know, guys, that Philidor is the line that's not on my main repertoire, but I often play it. And yeah, I think it's just a very solid system that you can employ as black. So we played the Philidor. Remember, on Philidor you have to do this c6 move to move the queen on c7, but also the c6 move is helping you to push the pawn on b5 sooner than later on the game. So castling, and I pushed the b5. What happened after b5? That usually people move the bishop to b3. Seems pretty normal. The bishop on b3 is still threatening my pawn on f7, which is reduced on a pin. But if the bishop goes to b3, the problem is going to be that then I push b4, then I go back, and then I take the pawn on e4. What she should have done is to move the bishop to d3 to protect the pawn. It's an uncomfortable position anyways because I'm expanding a lot on the queen side, and she is getting restricted. Her pieces are going to be only playing on the second and third rank, but of course that's better than losing the pawn. So she lost the pawn, I took it, and then she played queen to d3. So after she plays queen to d3, I needed to think what to do with my knight. So I have to come back with my knight, and then she plays knight g3 because I'm threatening to pin her, to fork her, and then I go with a5. She takes, and here I made a small mistake positionally talking that actually is gonna be more obvious later in the game. Not now, but later is gonna be pretty annoying. I took the pawn with the pawn, and it says it's an inaccuracy. Why does it say it's an inaccuracy? Because if I take with the pawn, the knight, which is very well known in chess as a minor piece, is gonna be still threatening my pawn. But if I take with the knight, even though I don't have a knight anymore protecting my pawn, there is no white knight threatening my pawn, my bishop is free, and if a rook or a queen tries to attack my pawn, it's going to be way easier for me to defend it, maybe with the bishop, maybe with the queen itself, threatening here an skewer, etc. So here was a positional mistake. Actually, it wasn't hard to see, but well, of course, first sight, you might be tempted to take it with a pawn. Anyways, I took it with a pawn, she came here, I developed my bishop on a6, we trade bishops, and then I played queen c7, I have to connect my rooks. At the end, I got rid of my bishop, which was being pretty annoying because I couldn't develop it during the whole game, so finally my bishop is gone, thanks God. And well, then I played g6, so her knight can't come into f5, she came bishop h6, and here, the only move that I have as black, of course I knew it before playing g6, but the only move I have is rook c8. I invite you all to stop the video and think about why rook d8 is a good move, and for example, rook e8 is a bad move for us, or rook d8 even. If you want to stop the video, I'm gonna go for the answer. So the thing is that if we go rook c8, we are protecting the queen. And you might say, okay, but why do we want to protect the queen? Well, we want to protect the queen because if we go rook e8, she's gonna play knight to g5, threatening my pawn. And you might say, okay, Adriana, but if you go c8, she can still go with knight to g5. Yeah, but if she goes knight g5, I can come here, and this sack doesn't work because my queen is protected. If my rook doesn't go to c8 and my rook goes to d8, for example, after knight g5, threatening my pawn with the queen and the knight, if I come here and she takes and I take, she takes my queen. Okay, that's why rook c8 was very, very important. Of course, this is not something you should find after bishop h6. This is something that I saw before g6 and that you should have think before, okay? This is what differentiates something, the lack and the real strength on your visualization or analysis or capacity of evaluation during a specific game. So after this, she moved the knight to e4, which wasn't very accurate. I trade. The engine doesn't like a lot the move of trading, but I did like it. She took, and then I played the knight b6. She went back, and then after f6, all the diagonal is controlled. My pawn is protected, and I'm just happy with my extra pawn, so then I just decided to trade pieces. And, well, at the end, she had to sacrifice the rook in exchange of the bishop, getting a very uncomfortable pawn over there. And then she played this knight d6, guys, which is a mistake, but it's a move that invites my error. Because imagine that I take here, and she takes, and I take the queen, and she takes. I can't take the rook, because then he pushes and promotes. So here, what I did was I moved a move that I'm proud of, which was rook takes pawn. And that's decisive for me because it's another pawn that I'm gonna get besides the rook in exchange of the bishop. And the thing is that if, of course, she takes my rook, well, I'm gonna get a queen, I'm gonna get a free queen. And if she takes my rook, I take her queen. And when she takes my queen, guys, please not to take the rook and then to take the knight. That decreases a lot your advantage because now you only have a pawn. This +1 is only because of an extra pawn. But in reality, I think that only an engine can play this if he plays perfectly. So what we should have done here, of course, I analyzed this all before rook takes on e5. What we have to do here is to take the bishop. And then, apart from the extra pawn we have, we are about to get another. And this pawn is going to be passed very soon. So the game continued a little bit. And after rook c2, she took here, I took there. She didn't take here because she was afraid of my pawn being so close to the top of the board. So she tried to stop my pawn. I didn't care. I just pushed the other. She went behind. I took this one. She took mine and I pushed this pawn. In the worst scenario, her king's gonna reach my pawn. She'll need to take the rook, and for that time my king is not gonna be close enough to my other pawns. Or my king, I think, even is gonna get closer to my pawn faster than her king, which is traduced on a victory to black. Anyways, overall of the game, I wasn't in trouble, I think, in any moment of the game. I got a free pawn easily. But that doesn't mean that she's not a good chess player. And overall, Sarah is an amazing girl. I think that she also has like the right attitude to improve. That's why she's improving. I just saw a recent post that she made that she beat an 18 or 1700 and she drew against another or something like that. So I really wish all the best to Sarah, and yeah. Amazing game I play against her, thanks to her for the game. And let's see the accuracy we got on round number 1. Okay, so I got 92, 2200, very good. And now we go to the game number 2. So let's go. So round number 3 actually, because the round number 2 and the round number 4 are 2 rounds that I played really bad. Like there is no there's no preparation, there's no thinking process, there's nothing actually I think you can learn from besides maybe the emotional or lateral or side part of chess competition, but there's actually nothing. So I'm gonna keep those two ones for another video when I'm gonna talk specifically about this kind of losses when you are really not so focused and etc. So this one is against Ariadna. She's a girl from Andorra, and this game I was playing white. I started with e4, she started with c5, and after this she played the accelerated dragon. So I just played the open line and I didn't know what to expect. I played this system, which is very aggressive, tries to do long castling and then to attack black on the king side. So what she played was the line with knight takes knight, and then after bishop takes knight, b5. That is essentially willing to do a fast attack on the queen side, so that kind of counter attacks my king side attack. I just decided to go in the middle with knight d5, then I took the bishop in g7, she took back, and then I took her knight. After I took her knight, she went back with the king to g8, and I just started my attack with h4. Okay, here h4 is not the best move. After analyzing the game, I got in conclusion that the best move here, I think, is maybe rook e1. Rook e1 is just trying to push e7. And why do we have to push e7? Because e7 is a weakness on black's position. It's what we call a retard pawn. A retard pawn is basically a pawn that is not a weakness, is not an isolated pawn, is not doubled pawns, but he can't go forward without creating other weaknesses or without being taken for free. So of course the e pawn is extremely weak, because if he goes forward we just do en passant, and then, well, she loses a pawn. So what I should have done is to go for that pawn instead of going for the attack. Even though for black I think it's hard to handle this attack unless black has it controlled beforehand. I think it's a very complex situation for black. So here after I played h5, she came with bishop f5, which was her biggest mistake on the game, because after that I played king b1, which is just going out of the pin. So when she plays f6, I can go g4, and then I took her pawn on g6. She took back, and 3 double rooks on the h file. She came here. We are attacking, so to trade is not a good option. It's not a good advice when you are attacking. I just came with rook h2, going out of the trade, and of course increasing my attack. Rook f7, rook h1, and then she blundered because she played rook g7. She could have maybe tried to protect the pawn with queen g7, but I don't think that's so accurate. I think that doesn't make any difference. I'll let you think a bit about the reason why. Like, you can stop the video and think about like why queen g7 is even worse than giving up the pawn. Think about it for a second. Okay, so the answer is that after queen g7 I could have just go with c4, and even if she does en passant after bishop c2, is so painful for black. To be honest, I didn't see this plan during the game. I didn't see it. I just didn't think after queen g7 as something that I needed to think beforehand, because I knew that the position was so comfortable for me. But yeah, this plan is like really good for white. So this was what would have happened if she would have protected. She didn't protect. So I took the pawn and I started attacking her. Again, trading is not the best option. And here I found an amazing way to convert this game into a point. It's important to say that we're already a pawn up. So I started to attack on this side. Now I'm about to get my second pawn. She only has the rook c5 to protect it. And then after the check, he has to go back and protect it. And then after queen d8, she doesn't have moves. She's in sort of zugzwang. She can't really move the rook because I'm gonna take the rook anywhere the rook goes. She can't move the pawns because anywhere they go, they're going to be taken. She can't move the queen because the rook's gonna access on h8. She played f5, and keep this in mind. You are never forced to take a pawn if it's a gift. You can attack it because maybe the pawn is not so important. Maybe what's important is your access into that square, and that was what happened here. If she moves the king, I'll take the bishop, and if he doesn't, of course, I'll take the queen. If she blocks, well, I'll take the queen. So she just moved the king, and then I took the bishop, and well, this would have been the game, but she just resigned after rook f5. So let's see the accuracy that we got on this game. So I got a 96.5 with a 2400 accuracy. Sorry, rating performance, so that's pretty good. Chicos, y tenemos la última ronda de este torneo, que fue contra Antonella Benedetti. Ella es una jugadora argentina. Y bueno, yo jugué con las piezas blancas y comencé con E4. Antonella respondió con E5, caballo F3, caballo C6. Y luego de D4, peón por y alfil C4, estamos en un gambito escocés. Bueno, aquí la apertura para el negro tiene bastantes respuestas y es bastante variable. Así que vamos a saltarte un poquito rápido porque en realidad esto es una parte más que nada teórica. Y bueno, si quieren un video sobre eso también me lo pueden decir. Pero no voy a ahondar mucho en ese tema de la apertura en este video en concreto. Luego de alfil C4, C5, caballo F3, caballo G5, alfil E3 en roque. Se termina la teoría luego de caballo D2, caballo por, dama por. Y bueno, aquí ya nos encontramos en el medio juego en donde el negro tiene que decidir un poco qué hacer. Dato curioso, para este momento Antonella iba bastante abajo en tiempo. Ella tendría a lo mejor 30 minutos y yo tenía más de una hora. O sea, yo no había gastado nada, de hecho había incrementado mi tiempo y Antonella pues había bajado el tiempo. Antonella es una muy buena amiga, la conocí en este torneo y todo lo que digo es positivo porque realmente Antonella creyó que estaba peor desde el principio y sin acordarse de nada de lo que tenía que hacer, supo todo lo que tenía que hacer, así que una genia Antonella. Bueno, ella me jugó F6, aquí yo también me puse a pensar porque no sabía muy bien cómo responder ante esa jugada. Sabía que alguna vez antes había avanzado el peón cuando era más chica y bueno, regalaban piezas. Sabía que no lo tenía que hacer ahora, así que lo que hice fue caballo F3, la simple y sencilla de retroceder y defender el peón. Y cuando trajo el alfil a B6 yo traje la torre, ella me comió, yo le comí con caballo. Y aquí me sentía bastante bien, la verdad, pese a que el módulo diga igualdad, creo que es muy fácil jugar para las blancas y lo demuestra el hecho de que en tiempo ella casi iba más de media hora por debajo que yo. Bueno, aquí sí que me equivoco y le cambio el alfil. Y claro, cuando yo le cambio, yo no asumí que me iba a comer con C, de hecho yo sabía que ella me tenía que comer con A, pero en mí aún vivía la esperanza de que me comiera con C. ¿Qué pasa si me come con C? Me quedo yo con un caballo buenísimo en D5, no me puede echar con nada y voy a jugar rápidamente por la tercera fila, atacándole el enroque, va a ser muy fácil. Pero si me come con A, que es lo que ella hizo y lo que tiene que hacer, la torre esta de aquí, aparte de que se activa atacando mi peón de A2, se activa porque puede eventualmente venir por A4 y atacarme en F4. Entonces, aquí comer no era lo mejor. Aquí a lo mejor tendría que haber simplemente mantenido, por ejemplo, con un torre F3. Podría haber funcionado. O qué sé yo. A lo mejor también otra jugada creo que sirve aquí es G4. También para hacer luego F5, que era un plan que nunca, o sea, se me ocurrió, pero nunca me atreví a hacerlo, ¿no? También ahí cuenta un poco la experiencia que tenga uno con las posiciones. Entonces, me comió y yo jugué a 3 para defender mi peón. Y aquí la posición se iguala por completo. Ella me juega dama F6, donde de nuevo debería haber hecho el plan de G4 para hacer E5 y ahí sí buscar una especie de movilidad con mi caballo para que llegue hasta E6. Pero bueno, no lo llegué a ver ese plan. Así que luego de dama vino la torre y luego de B4 vinieron unas jugadas más en donde llegamos a cambiarlo todo y aquí con torre F3 le pedí tablas. En este momento ya ambas nos habíamos apurado bastante de tiempo, me las aceptó sin pensar mucho porque en realidad la posición estuvo bastante igualada en todo momento y si nos vamos a la revisión van a ver que ambas jugamos bastante bien. Antonella con un 97.8% de precisión y yo con un 97.5% de precisión. O sea, ambas jugamos casi perfecto. ¿vale? Entonces fue una partida bastante buena, la verdad que fue un placer jugar con Antonella y espero que hayan aprendido algo de estas partidas, que me cuenten en comentarios si conocían esas aperturas, si no las conocían, qué es lo que aprendieron, qué les gustaría ver y bueno, conmigo será hasta el próximo video. Adiós.